This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social, delighted to be joined as always by a very emotional WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman. We're here in the aftermath of Charlie Edwards' successful defence of his WBC title against Edwards-Moreno. Mauricio, how are you?
I'm very, very happy. It's great to be here and it's been a special night for me.
Just elaborate on that, because as we can see that you are very emotional. You've just come out of Charlie Edwards' dressing room. Just tell me about tonight and what it means to the WBC first and foremost to see Charlie Edwards defend his title.
It's boxing. That's the beauty of the sport, because every son dedicates their lives to the parents. We want to be like them. They inspire us to be, and we work to give them a better life. And Charlie Edwards' story has deeply touched the world. And I'm just so happy, so thrilled. We cannot have a better champion in and out of the ring than Charlie Edwards.
What does it mean to the WBC to have somebody like Charlie who has really taken on his role as WBC champion? We've seen in his entrances to his last two fights, he's emblazoned with the WBC banner. What does that mean to you as an organisation to be represented by somebody like that?
It's a dream come true, because the loyalty, what we do behind the scenes for boxing is for them, for the boxers. There's nothing without the boxers. The sport belongs to them. And to see someone like Charlie take on and be such a role model and to represent us with such pride, it just makes us feel tremendously honored and happy.
Now, I appreciate it's very, very early. We're straight after the fight. But one thing that I spoke to Charlie about earlier on in the week is the possibility of him moving up in weight to challenge Cal Yafai for the WBA title. He said he would only be able to do so should he get an exemption from yourself, the WBC, to return to flyweight and be able to defend his WBC title. As I say, I appreciate it's very, very soon after the event. But is that something that you'd be willing to do?
We will do anything to support Charlie. Anything. I don't know what you just told me. It's the first news, but whatever it's take. If it is for the good of his career, if it's for the good for the fans, we will support him all the time.
You're a very, very popular man here tonight. You were very much in demand. One person who I know came and spoke to you is Luke Campbell, who is the WBC mandatory challenger for Mikey Garcia's lightweight title. What did you talk to Luke Campbell about?
We had a very nice conversation. He understands his position. I assure him that he's a mandatory contender. We're going to give Mikey Garcia a few days to recover from such a difficult defeat, and then we're gonna exactly find out where he stands, if he's staying lightweight, moving up, or doing whatever, and we will address it from there.
Yeah, you've just mentioned obviously Mikey Garcia's performance against Errol Spence. Just your thoughts on that fight. Tough night for Mikey.
It was a very tough night. Just the weight difference. He came in the ring very heavy, very slow because of the weight. Mikey's a warrior. He stood there for 12 rounds and was not successful, but his heart is as big as this stadium. I respect Mikey. He tried to make history and he fell short. Now he has to evaluate what he wants to do next steps, and we will be behind Mikey.
And something that yourself, the WBC, have done in the past is elect a WBC Emeritus champion. Would that be the kind of situation you're looking at for Mikey if he doesn't return to 135 pounds, with Luke Campbell potentially boxing for a vacant title?
We don't speculate. There's precedents, there's the history, there's the rules. If I speculate, then I will be making an injustice, but whatever comes, there are many options, and Luke Campbell is a mandatory contender.
Another fighter who's here tonight, who I know you've had various dealings with in the recent past, is Dillian White. The first time I've seen Dillian since his fight with Dominic Breazeale was called off for Dominic Breazeale to then challenge Deontay Wilder. Did you speak with Dillian tonight?
Yes, we had a very nice meeting. We had a formal appeal session, which is a process that we do under our rules and regulations, a mediation process, and we had a good conversation, and we're going to work to attend this matter.
Now, obviously, Dominic Breazeale is going to challenge for Deontay Wilder's WBC World Heavyweight title. It's been a bit of a confusing time from the outside looking in. There was, first of all, obviously going back to the start of the year, Deontay Wilder was supposed to box Tyson Fury, and then it was supposed to be Dillian White versus Dominic Breazeale. Explain to me, if you can, the chain of events that have led to Dominic Breazeale becoming mandatory challenger for Deontay Wilder instead of Dillian White.
This chain goes back 4 years. This is a very complicated situation which has emerged from the WBC's Clean Boxing program, We started this program for the benefit of the athletes, and Wilder suffered from this program because Povetkin failed the test twice, then Ortiz failed the test, and the mandatory status has been dragged on for so many years. There have been so many things happening. The issue, we thought everything was going positive with a Wilder Fury rematch and with an interim championship to get White and Brazil in the ring for the interim title, and then the winner fighting the winner. Something happened, Fury pulls out, and unfortunately that changes everything once again. White has rights because he was scheduled to fight for an interim title, so that's what we're addressing with the mediation meetings.
Eddie Hearn told me this week that he would like to see Dillian Whyte installed as a mandatory for the winner of Deontay Wilder versus Dominic Breazeale. I'm sure he's spoken to you about that. What update can you give us on that situation?
No, we are in the process of mediation. That's official meetings, which of course are confidential. We have to go through the process, and we'll be informing in medium-term time the exact resolution.
Dillian is somebody who is, to coin an English phrase, wears his heart on his sleeve. He's very much an emotional person. Do you think he has grounds to feel mistreated is the wrong word, but potentially upset at how these developments have unfolded?
Of course, he has the rights, and I respect him, and I understand his position. He's been active. He's been fighting against good opposition. He's been very loyal to the WBC. Things have happened in a different way, but we are addressing it, and he's a young, mature fighter with great future, and we will see. But I feel very comfortable after my meeting with him today.
And just finally, you've alluded to it in this interview already, the WBC Clean Boxing program. Another thing that I spoke to Eddie Hearn about is he believes, in his opinion, of course, that doping is widespread in the sport. Now, I know in your role as WBC President, you've taken great measures to implement the WBC Clean Boxing program. What further measures do you feel that the sport needs to implement to avoid fighters doping?
Well, we need to be more proactive, but together. If we participate together, promoters, managers, trainers, boxing commissions, boxing federations, organizations, media, if we do it, then the more fighters you can educate, the more trainers you can educate in the matter, the better. Many of the doping situations have happened because of ignorance, because of substances that the fighter does not know what he's taking, supplements that are with PEDs, or few guys out there making athletes doing something wrong without them really knowing. Anytime a fighter takes something into his body, he's hurting his kidneys, his liver, his heart, and of course his brain, and the potential injuries he can do to his opponent. So it is all about effort and money. It costs a lot of money to test continuously, but I believe much more in doing a joint effort to educate fighters and trainers around the world.
Do you think harsher punishments need to be put in place, not just for the fighters, but for people who are potentially facilitating doping? Off the top of my head, potentially trainers or nutritionists or strength and conditioning coaches. Do you think harsher punishments need to be put in place for them as well as the fighter, as a deterrent?
Well, we have a wide variety of punishments that are doable. I'm going to give you one example, David Benavides. He won the champion at 19 years old. He had the world in his hands, young, money, so many temptations, women, and one day he fell into cocaine. And we addressed it. He has complied absolutely with all the requirements. We put a psychological program. We put a anti-drugs program. He moved from the state where he was living, and he's done everything that he has been asked for. I just saw him, and he's a new man. He understands that this problem changed his life. If it did not happen, it could have been too late afterwards. So we're working, we're moving forward. Hopefully more will join in the effort, and we can all together attack the situation.
Okay, well, Mauricio Sulaiman, always a pleasure catching up with you. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Look forward to catching up with you soon.
Thank you so very much.
Thanks, Mauricio.